That's a good one. So how does the bank protect the client? Okay, so there's a bunch of different ways. From the builder's perspective, we have now different steps by working with a bank, whether it's Fairview or any other bank that they choose to do the construction loan with. When I build a house, say it's, for example, it's a $500,000 home, I don't get paid from the bank all that money up front. Like, here, Fred, built the home, here's $500,000. No, they have something called a draw system. And this construction draw system pays me in chunks as the home gets built, okay? So first off, I have to qualify for the bank, just like the client has to qualify for the bank, that I have the ability and the knowledge and the experience to build the home. So they don't just lend money to somebody who wants to build a house by themselves or someone that doesn't have experience and credit and everything else behind them to show that they're a real company. Once I start a project, the bank will dictate to me how they're going to pay me. So I have a contract with the seller or with the client, and we have that agreement for I'm going to build this home for this amount. The bank says, that's wonderful, Fred, but I'm not going to pay you all at once. I'm going to pay you in chunks as the home goes up. Okay? So what happens is as I progress on this project, the loan closes, I get my first draw, construction draw, and I get a chunk of money. The house, we get it cleared, we start putting it in dirt, we bring in concrete material, and we get it up to slab. Now I'm at a certain stage where I've already used all the funds and I need to continue to get some more funds from the bank to keep the project going. So now I have to log in. Typically a lot of these banks have an online login system, and I have to what they call is order a draw inspection. So the bank now says, okay, Fred, and I tell the clients where we're at, and the bank says, I am going to have somebody, an inspector, come out to the home and verify that we're at the stage that you say we're at. Okay, so they're not just going to say, oh yeah, here, Fred, here you go.
I need
So
to check that we are there.
Yeah, we need to check that we're there. So they actually come out, they take a ton of pictures, they have all these little notes, and say, for example, I'm requesting $100,000, right? They may come back and say, no, Fred, we're only giving you 75. This is not 100% complete here, or what, vice versa. The bank's not in the money of giving me money. They're in the business to sort of protect themselves, protect the client, okay? What happens also, and we'll talk about when we're using, when we're buying material, is there's a couple steps that the banks put in that also help secure making sure that they don't get ahead or we don't get ahead of the money available. One of them is as I order materials, so if I order $80,000 worth of concrete, the bank sends out something, or the concrete company will send something out that says, hey, we delivered all this concrete to this property, and they send that to the bank that's involved, they send it to me as the contractor, and they send it also to the homeowner. It's called a notice to owner, okay? And the first time anyone gets this, they flip out. They're like, what is this? What's happening? Is my builder going out of business? And it's not what's happening. It's just a normal course of business to say, we delivered this material to this job site, and if we don't get paid, we could put a lien on the property and eventually take it into a foreclosure action, okay? So it's called a notice. So when I put the draw in, the bank also has that notice, says, okay, Fred, great, you want this draw, but I see there's a notice. You have to go back to that supplier and either have him paid or get a release from that supplier before we give you more money. So that really, really is one of the huge protection parts for somebody using a bank.